All right, we're talking about knee injury prevention. See a lot of pickleballers running around, they've got knee guards on and compression socks around their knees trying to protect them. That's all good. We need to try to release the muscle, okay, and then we need to try and strengthen it up. So we want to keep it nice and long, nice and loose, but strong at the same time. So if we're not releasing it and we're just strengthening it, it's going to keep getting tight. So the first thing we want to do is we want to release the muscle off. We're going to use a foam roller. Okay, make sure you get yourself one of these, very important. And we're going to roll really simply through the front of our legs, so our quadriceps, and then I'm going to show you how to release the IT band, which really relates to knee tension and making sure that we keep that knee tracking well. So I'm going to place this on the ground. I'm going to start off with both legs on top of it. So I'm just getting up as high as I can towards my hips, and I'm going to come out here with my arms just like I'm going to do a plank, okay? And from here, I'm actually going to move my arms as I move through the roller. So you can see here, I'm just nice and smooth. So once I get my arms in the right position, I don't really need to move them. You can adjust them a little bit, move them forward and back. So this is the easiest way to do this. It's with both legs on, because both legs, they're sharing the load of the exercise. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stack one leg on top of the other. And this is ideally how we're going to get you to do this. So in this instance, my right leg, it's taking about 80% of the load, which means that muscle's got a lot more pressure pushing into it. We also just want to change the angle that we're moving. So I've just shifted my leg a little bit. We can turn the foot out, turn the foot in. And really all I'm trying to do there is just trying to work through the muscle through here, a little bit on the side and a little bit through the middle. So just shifting your foot around will just change the position on the roller. All right, so you've got the option to do both legs on. It might be a bit sore for you to get started with, but start with that. Ideally though, then we want you to switch and stack one leg on top of the other and load up one leg, and then you're going to change sides. Next one we're going to do, okay, most of you are going to be really tight and sore through here. We call this your IT band. Okay, we've got to release this off. If you are someone that's typically has had knee problems in the past, I can almost guarantee you're going to be quite tight through here, so we want to make sure we release this off. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it. So I've just got my elbow straight under the shoulder joint, across this leg in front. So this is taking a bit of the load off this leg. All right, so I'm pushing down into the ground, and then from there I keep this leg straight off the ground. I roll through, I come back down again. All I'm purely trying to do here is work through this line through here, from the hip down to the knee, hip down to the knee. It gets very tight and it starts to manipulate what the knee joint wants to do. We don't want that. We want to loosen it off so that knee can track well. All right, now that's the easiest way. If you're feeling it quite sore doing like that, you just got to persevere with it. A little tip is to have a hot shower before you do this, because it's going to desensitize the muscle a little bit. Okay, now I've got both legs stacked on top of each other, so this is going to get in the deepest. It's a great way to do it, having both legs on top there, working through nice and slow. Don't want to rush through these. Nice, slow, controlled movement. All right, so we've got the quads released, we've got the IT bands released. We're going to have a look at a couple of stretches. Okay, so the first stretch we're going to do, so I'm going to stand up. Most people have seen this stretch. I'm not reinventing the wheel here at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one leg on the ground. Now, if you are someone that's struggling a little bit with your balance, that's fine. Just hold onto a wall or a pole or anything that's fixed. And what we're going to do is we're just going to reach back, grab that foot, and we're going to push the hip forward. So we get a little bit of hip flexor, but predominantly we're getting into the quadricep. So nice straight body, push the hip forward, and you're going to get a stretch through the quadricep. Now, if you are someone you've got a very tight knee joint, okay, and you're struggling to reach back and grab your foot like that, you just got to try and grab it in that position there, and then you just have to stretch and eventually just try to push your hip forward. So for you, that may be enough of a stretch there. I don't want you grabbing your ankle though. Really try to grab the top bridge of your foot, and then you can start to push the hip forward for us. So we're going to do that on both sides. And the last one we're going to do, fold our mat up. And the way this one works is, I'm going to take a step forward, okay? And all I'm going to do here, you just see that I'm on my back knee here on the mat. I'm just going to push my knee forward over my toes. So we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to feel a stretch through this hip flexor, all right? Which is great to stretch that out. But then we're also going to be pushing this knee forward. And it's just going to help open up the knee joint, open up the ankle joint. So we're doing three things: stretching out through the knee and the muscles around it, mobilizing the ankle joint, and opening up through this hip flexor. So just note, I'm keeping my back nice and straight, pushing forward, push that knee forward, keep that foot flat on the ground, in and out of that. Make sure you've got lots of padding underneath this back knee. Obviously, we'll do that on both sides. So once you've gone through those, that's just going to help prepare your body for the strength exercises. So we've loosened off these muscles, ready to go. We want to try to strengthen these muscles up now. Explain a couple of key things to you. When we're doing these, we want to be conscious of focusing on a couple of areas. Some of the exercises we're going to focus on this muscle group here, what we call the VMO, the vastus medialis. We want to strengthen that up. Really helps protect the knee joint. Most people, if they are having knee issues, it's because these guys are pretty weak, combined with the glute. So a couple of exercises are going to really target those two areas for us. The first one we're going to do, really simple, we're just going to be sitting down. We're going to do what's called a leg extension, so the back's up nice and straight. You can also just sort of anchor yourself like that if possible. All I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to straighten my leg out, and I don't need to lift my leg up because that's going to get a lot of hip flexor. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just straighten my leg out, see the angle that it's on, and I'm squeezing, but I'm trying to be really conscious of contracting this muscle here. Okay, so a little tip with that, you can just try to turn your toes in a little bit towards the center of your body, so turn them in medially and try to squeeze that there, back it off. Now, I know I told you to anchor your hands on there, but something else you can try until you get the hang of it, turn the toes in, just to touch the muscle. That's going to help you engage it a little bit more. So turn in, squeeze, back it off, come out. So we're going to hold this for only a couple of seconds, just stick to the plug and play video, that'll help you get through it. So I'll show you how it looks in real time. We come out, we squeeze. And we'll obviously do the other side as well. So this is the left leg. You can see that muscle really working, right? See it start to bulge there. It means it's working for me. What this does is it just starts to get it used to these muscles. Not only are we strengthening up, it's getting used to being engaged every time we do that with the knee joint, and that's really what we want. We want it working more and more. Okay, so we've got those on each side, each leg, okay, which is fantastic. After we've done those, we're going to use, we call these mini bands or micro bands. So you're sitting down, just simply pop your feet in there, like that. We're going to get them just above what we call the malleolus, those bones in the ankle. Okay, anywhere where it feels comfortable for you, just above the ankle joint. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come down a little bit, concentrate to get these glutes firing. Okay, at the same time, I can already feel from that last exercise, these muscles here are highly engaged. So we've got to bend down, feel them contract and start to work. Then we start to get these going at the same time. That and that combined, we've got the double whammy. So we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we go back. 1, little steps, 2, 3. See how I'm keeping tension on the band the whole time? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Can feel that in there, definitely in the glutes. That's exercise number 2. Great exercise. Love that one. It's going to get those glutes and the VMO rocking. So what we're going to do next, we're going to move on to just a single leg hold. Now this exercise seems quite basic, and it is. Okay, basic often works best. We just got to keep repeating it. So all I'm doing here, concentrating on these two areas. 1, 2. I squeeze, okay, and I squeeze, and I'm just going to hold that. Get as much contraction out of those two areas as you can. I can feel this glute really firing, and I can start to feel this guy starting to fatigue and really grab and contract. Bring this leg up, going to help keep your hips in neutral, squeeze through the core, hold good upper body posture, and keep that contraction. I want you to really fight it. Squeeze as tight as you can, get those two areas working. So we'll do that on one side, and we're going to make sure obviously that we reverse it. So we're coming up, once again, squeeze, squeeze, chest up, core in. So I'm imagining here someone's coming to try and push me. What's going to anchor me and stop that me from falling over? In this case, it's going to be that and this whole leg, but predominantly I'm trying to activate the VMO. So I'm in a nice, strong brace position. And what this does, it gets you used to being on cord, okay, here, and whenever you have to step, gets this whole chain of movement nice and strong. That's activated and that's working, going to help protect the knee joint. There we go. Okay, last couple exercises. This one here, I call this a reverse wall sit. Okay, so you have got the wall sit in your strength program, which is when you're sitting your back up against the wall. It's great at really challenging the legs, but if you do have knee pain or you are someone that has knee pain in the past, it can aggravate it. So all we're going to do here, remember we've got these areas firing already. They're already highly stimulated. Okay, so we're going to put our fingers up on the wall. I've got my fingers like that. And you'll see here I'm about 3 feet or half a metre away from the wall. And all I'm going to do here is just sit back. All the wall's doing is just helping me keep good posture. So imagine you're on the court. You want to be slightly leaning forward. That's going to load up through here for us, and we're going to hold that position there. All the wall's going to do, you're going to feel like it's going to make these guys work a little bit harder. So feet out, we're in our ready position, slide down, and I just want you to hold that position there. Okay, last one. I'm going to slide this out of the way, give myself a bit more space. I love this one. This is the cream of the crop. So I'm going to be standing here. Just, you can use any step. Doesn't really matter too much the height of it, and I'll show you why in a moment. We're not aiming to go down really far with these. Okay, all we're aiming to do is just to get down, okay, a little bit. So we only want a little bit of bend in the knee joint because we're just trying to target this muscle and this muscle, and then I'm just going to touch my heel on the ground. So I'm sitting my butt back like I'm sitting onto a chair, but I'm just touching that back of my heel on the ground. So that part there, all right? We don't want your foot flat. We want your toes pulled up towards your head. I'll show you again. So we come down, just touch, back up. If you do need something to help support you with, that's totally fine. And if you can only get to that depth there, that's okay as well. Just go to a depth that you feel comfortable with. I can guarantee you I can feel it in those areas already. So we're going to change sides. Come up, make sure we're squeezing here. Sit the butt back. To make it more challenging, you can get that foot out in front a little bit more for yourself as well. I'll show you from this side. To make it more challenging, get that foot out further in front, touch it on the ground, makes this whole area work a lot harder. All right, so there we have our strength exercises for the knee. Get into them.